Yeah, no, thanks so much and greetings everyone. The Premier said a lot. Really today is about bringing the Premier to the operational area so that we can be able to showcase that which we promised to the Premier and to the people of this province and the visitors that are going to be coming to the province of KwaZulu-Natal. That when we had a parade in October where we are launching our festive season operation, we outlined our plans, our objective for the operation, and our phases of the operation. And we then brought the Premier today so he can be able to see what has been the achievement, what has been really the activities that the law enforcement have been busy with, where we are largely involved in tourist attraction areas. And we operate in the mountains of Drakensberg in the main, on the western side of our province. We've got a lot of activities taking place in the northern side of our province, in the game farms, and we're at the coastline. It's a hub of activities, especially on the days like this. Durban being the main one, that's why we're here today. But the length and breadth of our coastline, it's a one that needs to be protected. And so we have deployments in those places. And then also there's some operations that we've been doing in the central part of our province. And we know that there's a lot of gatherings that have been taking place, community events that has been happening. Last night, the crossover of the country that was broadcasted at SAPS channel, we saw it happening in Pietermaritzburg, and we had to police that event as well, which went smooth. People were enjoying themselves. And this morning we're here just to brief the Premier about the activities that the police have been doing. So thus far, we are about to complete the third phase of our operations today. And tomorrow we start with the fourth phase, which is a final phase of our operation that's going to run until the end of January. So these are operations specifically for festive season. We are still running police operations parallel to this. And a lot of operations has been happening, a lot of arrests that has been conducted, which are not necessarily festive season related, but pure criminality. And in that, there's been a lot of shooting incident also that has taken place where some of the suspects were fatally wounded after they attempted to engage our police officers. And while we are still dealing with crime in general involving those that are criminals, but we are also disturbed by the fact that we tend to arrest some of our own on different type of crimes, ranging from drunk driving to robberies. Just yesterday, police officers that were arrested after they went into a shop to go and rob and kidnap someone. And they were arrested, found in a possession of the very same firearms that we issue them. So we are taking actions against such. And there are many other arrests that has happened that involves different law enforcement from Metropolis, and as well as and some of them from correctional services. So we are running these operations simultaneously with the festive season. So the safety of the community, the safety of the citizens, the safety of the guests in KwaZulu-Natal is a priority for us. So we're not going to stop. We're going to keep working hard. So having said all that, I want to thank the men and women who are working very hard. Our colleagues out there, day and night, they are facing this harsh weather, and they are working in the cold temperatures, rainy weather, and they have to face dangerous criminals and face the clients that are complicated. Some of them that are swimming behind us, some of them are intoxicated. While the rescue teams are assisting them, they fight with the rescue teams because they want to kill themselves. But we have an obligation to keep them alive. So we find those difficulties, but I want to thank them for the work they do, and I hope they're not going to give up now. It's towards the end of our operations. They're going to remain focused and remember what is our objective. It is unfortunate when you see an incident where police officers are shot and killed or stabbed. So the incident that you're talking about at Kwamashu is one of those unfortunate incidents. Yes, crime does happen, and crime affects everyone, regardless of whether you're a police officer or not. What we have noticed in some instances, or in majority of the time, that police officers that end up becoming victims of crime, a majority of the times are police officers that tend to get involved in shady things, questionable behaviors. In that instance of the murder of that police officer, the community reported a person who was shot and killed was lying on the side of the road. And police responded without even knowing that he's a fellow police officer because he was off duty. And we discovered later that indeed it was a police officer. I've mentioned an example of police officers that are getting arrested, which a question you're asking about the the behavior of police officers, because how do you get trusted by community as a police officer and the government provides you with resources for you to go and fight crime, but you take the same resources and you use them to commit crime? So it's a typical example of those. That police officer who gets involved with that type of grouping is typical police officer that you might find him dead tomorrow because he had a conflict with his buddies when he was off duty. So we are investigating. We are not saying that this incident was a result of a bad behavior of the police. We will investigate that and we'll be able to get to the bottom of what is happening. We have not shied away in reporting the crime that's happening in the province. The crime remains a problem. Yes, the numbers may be going down in terms of the murder rates, but it does not necessarily mean that it's not happening. So we are still looking for a situation where we can have a zero murder incidents happening in our province. We hope that day will come. We can only achieve that if those that have committed murders in the past and they've been found and incarcerated and they've been rehabilitated, when they go out, they preach a gospel of peace to their fellow criminals out there so that they don't do such evil deeds. So we hope that can help us in future. But also with the different interventions that we have, community involvement, that try and discourage people from the young age to be involved in criminal activities. So that's why we embark on different activities as a police in terms of social crime prevention that will help us to be able to prevent incidents of criminality from happening. So we are investigating anything that happens, but we hope one day the day will come where we will not have that happening. The issue that we ask about Gillespie Road at Point, yes, there's been a lot of complaints in many other instances, especially in the cities, where some of our colleagues are found to be doing things that are against the law, that are against the code of conduct that they have to abide by as police officers. In such instances, we take drastic action against police officers. In the area talking about Point Police Station, there's quite a number of police officers, I might not give you the number in this year, number of police officers that have been subjected to departmental cases, and there's a lot of police officers that were arrested and been charged for being associated with or getting involved in the wrong things that are happening in that area. We know it's an area that is dominated mainly by foreign nationals. So you might end up not knowing whether the interaction between the police and those citizens, is it a legitimate ethical engagement or is it a criminal engagement?